You know how you can use a piece of software for so long it just feels like, well, like it's a part of your brain? For one user, that tool was Evernote. But after almost 20 years of loyalty, something snapped. And that snap kicked off this long, kind of messy journey to find a replacement. It's a story I think a lot of us are going to find familiar.
And what's really interesting here is that this whole story doesn't start with someone falling in love with a shiny new app. Nope, it starts with a breakup. The author is super clear. The move was driven by pure, simple annoyance. This wasn't about finding the perfect tool, it was about getting away from one that had just become a total pain to use.
So what could possibly make someone walk away after 2 whole decades? I mean, that's a long time. It wasn't just one thing, but a whole series of changes that just, slowly chipped away at that trust.
Yeah, this wasn't some overnight decision. It was a slow burn. For more than 10 years, he was a happy, loyal free user. Then, around 2016, Evernote started pushing him to go premium. A little annoying, sure, but he did it. But then came the real shocks. Around 2022, the price just doubled. And then, after getting bought out in 2023, it doubled again. That was it. Those back-to-back price hikes were the final straw.
And this really gets to the absolute heart of the problem. It just felt like the company's whole reason for being had changed. The focus wasn't on the user anymore. It felt like it was all about pleasing investors, pushing pricey new features like AI, features you can get for free in like the next browser tab over.
So, the decision was made. It was time to go. But if you've ever tried to move your digital life from one place to another, you know it is rarely easy. We're talking about moving almost 3,000 notes gathered over 2 decades. This was not a weekend project. This was a full-on gauntlet.
And right away, he hits this huge critical roadblock. How do you translate your entire organizational system? He had this one big choice to make. Should all his nested tags from Evernote become tags in UpNote, or should they become notebooks? I mean, that one decision would basically redefine how his entire digital brain was structured.
And this kicked off what sounds like a truly painful process of trial and error. First try, import tags as notebooks. Total disaster. The whole hierarchy? Gone. Flattened. Okay, try number 2. Re-import everything as tags. But wait, you can't mass delete the old empty notebooks. A third try just made duplicates of every single note. The conclusion was just, wipe it all. Start from scratch, knowing it was going to be a long manual cleanup job.
Just let that sink in for a second. 3 weeks. And that was just to sort out his personal notes. It's pretty clear that moving everything over was a massive commitment, needing a huge amount of time just to fix what the import process broke in the first place.
Okay, but after all that pain, all that frustration, was it worth it? Let's jump over to the other side. What's it actually like using the new app UpNote every day?
The difference in daily use was apparently night and day. Evernote had just become so cluttered. You had to fight your way through a bunch of features just to get to your notes. UpNote, on the other hand, was just clean. It opened right to your notes. All those little things that drive you crazy, like Evernote's huge margins or a weird sorting bug, they were just gone. It all added up to a way smoother, way less frustrating experience.
And this feeling is just captured perfectly in the author's own words. He said, using UpNote felt like going back in time to what made Evernote so great in the first place, when it was just a fantastic app for organizing your notes, and not an investment vehicle.
All right, so let's be real. No app is perfect, and the author gives a really fair and balanced look at what he gained and what he lost in this whole switch. So let's break down that final verdict. First up, the trade-offs. UpNote was not a perfect one-to-one replacement. There were some Evernote power features he genuinely missed, like built-in reminders or being able to email notes right from the app. And yeah, the lack of drag and drop for organizing notebooks made that big cleanup project even more of a grind.
But the list of things he gained was way longer, and it all boiled down to just a better user experience. The interface was cleaner, search was faster, and he could actually organize with truly nested notebooks. You add in some fun little touches, and this is a big one, customer support that was actually responsive, and the scales just tipped heavily in UpNote's favor.
But maybe the most convincing argument, the one that's almost impossible to ignore, is the price. We're talking about an Evernote plan that costs about $130 a year. UpNote's lifetime license, a one-time payment of $40. When you look at the numbers, the choice becomes, well, pretty crystal clear.
So,
The decision's been made, the massive migration is finally done, the only thing left to do is to actually cancel that Evernote subscription. And this final step, well, it tells the story all by itself.
Instead of just a simple cancel button, he got put through this whole cancellation obstacle course. First, a pop-up. Are you sure? Then, this super long scroll of all the great features he was about to lose. Then he had to pick just one reason for leaving from their drop-down list. And the grand finale? An offer for a 40% discount. A discount that came 2 months too late, after all the hard work of leaving was already finished.
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? This whole song and dance, which was clearly designed to make him stay, just did the exact opposite. It was like one last piece of proof that he was absolutely making the right call.
And in the end, that's the real goal, right? The author says that UpNote has just become this seamless part of his life. The best tools are the ones that are so good, so intuitive, that you just stop thinking about them. They just work.
So this whole journey leads us with a really good question to chew on. Whether it's a piece of software, a service, a brand, we all have things we're loyal to. But this story shows that there's always a breaking point. It really makes you wonder, what's yours?